Welcome back, Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV as well. You can see him there. That is Florida State's pitching coach, Micah Posey, joining us on the show. Kind enough to do so from the road and an adjusted start time to the game. This guy is lock solid joining us like this in early morning so we can get out to you this afternoon. Coach, welcome to the show again. It's good to have you. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so right off the bat here, got to ask the question people are going to want to know. I saw Cam Leiter's not listed as a starter, so what gives and what can you tell us?
Yeah, so, he had pitched, at Clemson. He had a short pitch count, about 73 pitches. So we kind of evaluated him coming back. We had the doubleheader on Saturday, so we came back on Thursday against Louisville. We were kind of monitoring how he felt day to day. He obviously said he felt good to go against Louisville, which anybody that watched that game, he looked good that day. 12 strikeouts, like probably the best outing of the year as far as the pitch mix and the stuff. And then we just the same thing we do every week. We evaluate these guys, how they're feeling day to day. And, the day one or two afterwards, he didn't feel quite 100%. And day three he did, and day four. And it was just it was progressing and he was feeling better. But it's just kind of taking longer for him to get into his bullpen and those things. And so we didn't really want to push the issue with him too much. So, with the arm like that, you just kind of want to take precautionary. And so with him, here we are kind of precaution. We're going to let him be down this weekend, and then we're going to reevaluate it Monday and see where he's at from there.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I know. I mean, we'll end up everybody will watch this, but you guys have to be careful what you say with HIPAA laws. I know that. And then at the same point, it's nice for the fan base to hear, though, I think that precautionary measures. No need to rush. Hey, listen, no need to rush it when you win every game but four. Goodness gracious. You guys have put yourself in an amazing position. I think we go back to a year ago and you think about where this fan base was watching this program, because this is such a tradition-laden program and it's been so great, and the frustrations of having to transition. Did you ever envision that it could turn around this quickly? I mean, look, I know coaches are always thinking about the next game and the next series, and they can't really get bogged down in really reveling in the wins so far. But, I mean, this is a remarkable turnaround in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, on our end, to think to be 24-4 or whatever we are in any program, that's a tough feat for any program. You could have the best rotation and lineup in college baseball. 24-4 is tough. If you look across college baseball, the upsets, so to sit here and say I thought we would be 24-4, I don't think I thought that, but at the same time, I don't really think about the record too much. I just, we try to go one game at a time and go 1-0. And I think if you just stack wins and days and do the things the right way, you look up at the end and you kind of like where you're at.
One of the reasons the record is gaudy is because you win all these midweek games, and I want your philosophy on midweek games. Now we're watching, and I'm thinking about Brady Lauk, I'm thinking about Oxford, I'm thinking about Hudson Rowan, I'm thinking about Tejada, I'm thinking about Dorsey, I'm thinking about Connor Holtz, I'm thinking about all the arms we're getting to watch now in these midweek games and how you're cultivating all these different guys, and they're all getting opportunities in game situations. And outside of Clemson, these guys are passing the test every time they get the opportunity. We're seeing more consistency of stuff, more consistencies in the strike zone. Give me your thoughts on midweek games and how, it's a weird week, a 5-game week, and your thoughts on how to utilize these midweek games for your staff.
Yeah, I mean, with midweek games gives your bullpen a chance to grow up. It gives guys a chance to start games that haven't started games. It gives guys a pitch and leverage situations that haven't been able to do that otherwise. So, the midweek games, every time we go into a midweek game as a pitching coach, you're anxious because everybody kind of has to do their job. There's going to be a lot of arms thrown and those things, but these guys have certainly answered the bell, especially after the mishap 2 weeks ago. A lot of those guys to get back in there and compete against Florida the way they did, and to show up last weekend and do what they did against Louisville, and the turnaround on a short week and double midweek, and guys step up. Tejada hasn't pitched in a while, and Holtz, these guys, they're stepping up when they get their opportunity, and that speaks to how they prepare and what kind of teammates they are. They're not cashing it in. They're not moping around. Like, these guys are getting after it, and we're excited to see some more guys. There's some more guys that we haven't seen that we're excited to see as well.
I'm curious, and I don't want to dwell on the bad weekend that was the bullpen for Clemson, but it was a weird set of circumstances, the most annoying baseball operation situation I've ever heard. Guys didn't seem to handle that very well. But I have to say that statistically, that looks like a great outlier because they haven't been bad in any other situation prior to that or after that. How did you handle that? What did you say to them? I mean, because I think everybody wonders after a disastrous couple of games like that, people go, oh, God, is this going to be a thing for us the rest of the year? Are we going to have to win games 10-8? How's this going to work? But really, it just looks like now something you can chalk up to a really weird set of circumstances and one bad weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think that weekend there's some things that they did that I didn't really quite have our guys prepared for, and I take some of the heat on that. But when there's chaos and things aren't going your way, I think a lot of times the players are going to look at the leaderships, and I think calm is contagious. And so in those situations, I'm certainly trying to stay calm. And same thing, like when we're having a good week and we're pitching well, I try not to get too high on that either. Just try to stay calm. And so for our guys, not overreacting is a big piece of that. And then also like understanding that anxiousness and getting sped up, those are part of the game. Not trying to run away from that, just maybe trying to lean into those. And we talk about riding those anxious feelings like a surfboard. Just lean into them and embrace them and don't run from them. It's a privilege to have to be in the spotlight and to have that pressure. It's a privilege.
I would almost imagine too, as a pitching coach, it's different if a guy is struggling and he's not good enough. He just doesn't have stuff. But every guy that you've kind of run out here at various points have shown they've got a lot of stuff. There's something to work with. So it's a little bit easier, I would imagine, when you're like, okay, well, we'll get through this, but he's got pitches. We can get people out. Like if you want to use Connor Holtz, for example, 6 hitters, 4 Ks, crazy spin rates, all that stuff, but he's locating now. So you watch these guys, they have stuff.
A lot, and a lot of it is confidence. Like you see the confidence kind of growing in certain guys. Like Yoa Tejeda, like get the other day in the midweek Wednesday, I think every pitch he threw at one point, it's like, hey man, like he looks different. Like the look in his eye, like he looks more confident. And it's like the more those guys get out there, the more their confidence grows. And we're hoping we're getting to the point in the season where these freshmen aren't freshmen anymore. Like they've pitched in hostile environments. They pitched at Clemson, Florida. Like they've been in big games. And so now, we're looking to just kind of everybody just moving forward.
I've never pitched, so I always wondered what coaches say when they go to the mound about when it's falling to pieces and everything around you is crashing and it was uncomfortable. Like I was thinking about the music and all the things that were happening with every ball and all that. And I just what is he saying? What's he going out there and saying to them? I know you say embrace the anxiety, but man, that's hard to do when it's all crashing.
Sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes you're getting on a guy and you're telling him like, hey man, like you might not get this opportunity for 3 more weeks. And that kind of locks them in. And other guys, you're really just trying to slow it down. My wife, Julie, makes fun of my mound walk. She's like, they're the slowest ever and she can't stand them, but like it's kind of by design. You're trying to slow the inning down and you're just really trying to give that guy a breather and a reset. So a lot of times you'll start that mound visit with, hey, just try and give you a reset, try and give you a breather, and then you'll talk about next hitter, like this guy right here maybe struggles with the ball going away from him. Do you want to start with a slider, a fastball away? Like what would you like? You're kind of game planning for the next hitter, and you're just trying to break up the momentum of an inning. There's nothing. The one thing you can't do as a pitching coach and as a pitcher is talk about mechanics and internal things. That's not a time and place to fix those. So a lot of times you're just trying to break up the inning.
Reminds me of golf in a weird way. Like I was fortunate enough to do a show on the PGA Tour Network on SiriusXM for a long time. That's not a humble brag. I just got to do it. But one of the things that I like to do about that, we had sports psychologists on all the time. Oh, yeah. And one of them was Dr. Brett McCabe, who pitched at LSU. And he used to talk about pitching and talk about golf and how it's like you need to slow things down. Like when we watch these guys on the weekends on the PGA Tour, you see the breathing, you see the way that when they get sped up, as you were saying, and then they realize it. Usually their caddy will tell them, like, calm down. Is that the same type thing? Is that right? Is that similar?
It's 100% the same thing. And like in golf, like if you think about you're on the tee box and you got water to the left and you're telling yourself like, hey, don't hit it in this water right here.
You do that.
You're hitting it in the water. And so the pitching is no different. Like I tell guys all the time, when you're on the mound, you're doing one of two things. You're trying to get the hitter out or you're trying to throw strikes. If you're trying to throw strikes, you're thinking about the water. And so we tell guys all the time, when you're up there, you're not trying to think about throwing strikes. You're thinking about getting the hitter out, and it's you versus the hitter, and there's some aggression and there's some pent-up anger, and you're going after that guy. So it's very similar.
So really quickly, Coach, I didn't want to keep you long today because you're making time on a game day in the morning. So I will ask you, without Cam this weekend, how does it affect your plans moving forward with the rotation, and what's that going to look like for people tuning into the game today?
Yeah, today we're going to go Jamie Arnold, who's having a fantastic year. Tomorrow we'll go Whitaker, and then Sunday we're TBD. It really just depends on the bullpen. There's about 4 or 5 guys we feel like could start that game, so we're just trying to maybe get to Sunday and see what that looks like. See how much we use the bullpen in the first 2 games, and then but certainly looks like a game on Sunday where we'll definitely have to lean heavily on the pen.
Probably not your favorite week to have a 5-game week.
Nope, not at all. We've bullpen 2 games. We're getting ready to bullpen a third. But it's college baseball, and everybody's going through this, not just us. And that's what makes the sport great. Is a lot of different guys you have to lean on, and we're kind of excited to see some guys get back out there.
Enjoyed it as always. Good luck. I'll talk to you down the road. Be well, sir.
All right, Jeff. Thank you.
Yep, take care. That's Micah Posey. He's the pitching coach at Florida State. He's kind enough to join us from his hotel room in Boston. And the game got moved to 1, and you're listening to that now. You want to flip back and forth, whatever, I got you. I understand. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.